Earlier during pre-race ceremonies when all the fans were looking forward to thunder on the racetrack, well, we got some thunder all right, and it came right out of the sun, courtesy of Julie Clark, one of the top female aerobatic pilots in all the world. And those in the VIP tower, well, just watch. I was just as happy to be outside on that one.
It definitely got everybody's attention to the starting line. A lot like Englishtown, Don Garlitz, when you did that little turnaround deal. Remember that?
Yes, I was in the tower, and as I watched Julie come at us, I figured out just what the people on the starting line in Englishtown were thinking.
Okay, back at round 2 funny car action. John Force, you're looking over his shoulder right now as he does his burnout. He'll go against Bruce Larson. But now, let's go to Jim White at the far end, who just set low ET of the meet.
You know, as you got to the finish line, the flames went down. That means you shut it off a little bit earlier. It shut itself off to a 554.
No, I shut it off just a little bit early. It nosed over just a little bit. We can put a jet or two on it. It'll be just fine.
That's rather than abuse the equipment?
That's correct.
Good job.
Great show by Jim White in the Hawaiian automobile of Roland Leon's. As we watch Bruce Larson in the foreground and his funny car up there in the upper left, that is John Force getting ready to go. Steve, and this is going to be a good race.
It will, and Bruce Larson hopes this will be a winning affair. He's the defending Winston champion. We're past midpoint in the season. He has not won a race. Oh, John Force leads the Winston points. He is trying to carve the #1 off of Bruce's car and put it on this machine. And a tip of the hat to Marco Guerra, our in-car camera coordinator. These are the finest pictures we have ever seen.
I'll tell you, it looks like you are inside the car and actually going to make the run. This is what you actually see, folks, when these cars race.
And watch how this body contorts. It's a shame we can't give you the G feeling off of the starting line. Boy, that would be a technical achievement. They're staged and ready. You're riding along with John Force. Do you see Larson? No, you don't, and neither did John Force. 5:59 at 2:54 defeats Larson's 5:56. Larson again ran quicker than John Force, and again he lost the reaction time war.
Well, it looks like it's going to be you against old Federley.
It does appear that way, doesn't it? It'll probably be a pretty good race here, and you know, we got to do whatever we can here, and it's kind of tough running up here on the mountain, little practice as we get, but Force helped us out on that one, huh?
Johnny did a good job.
He certainly did.
Well, he sure did. They beat Bruce Larson on the starting line with a much, much better reaction time, Don Garlitz.
You know, it's such a difference, a full 1/10 of a second in the reaction time. And you see that clutch dust? I think that Larson was having some kind of clutch problem to be that late. He's a better driver than that. But Force's car was performing flawlessly, and especially John as a driver. Look at him make up the distance there. He just keeps going on and on. Very nice win for John.
So let's go to John Force with Steve Evans at the far end.
I tell you what, every time Bruce Larson races John Force, he runs quicker, but Force beats him anyway. He's going to get sick and tired of seeing you.
I tell you what, I told Austin up there when he got lane choice, I was standing on the hill, just made me sick. And I told Austin we're going to get him on the light. And it's tough because you got to get out there and you got to get aggressive. I was scared to death, and I kept telling myself, get tough, and get this champ. And I was giving him all I had on that stage of lights, and it worked, I guess.
Your 59 beat his 56. I'll say it worked.
We'll take it. Thanks.
What a lever.
So John Force just wins it on the starting line. Is he happy? Absolutely. He will move on to the final 4 here. And now back to Casey Spurlock. And Big Daddy, we saw that motor in pieces a little while ago.
Well, Brock, I guess we're fixing to find out just how good those mechanics really are.
Oh, absolutely. And let's remember at Englishtown, the last stop on the tour, they had low elapsed time of the world that weekend at 5.19 seconds at sea level. You know, in the near lane is Tom Hoover. And you hear a lot of racers like Joe Amato say, oh, those valuable Winston points. Tom Hoover says, what does this round pay in Denver? Because he's racing with pretty empty pockets. And he almost got his pocket picked in round #1 when he was up against Tim Gross with some new corporate sponsorship. That young man was top. But Gross either made a mistake or there was a mechanical failure. Watch this in the far lane. Tim Gross has Tom Hoover beat. At half track, he's ahead. He maintains that lead. Hoover's in the near lane, a car length back. All of a sudden, out comes the parachute on Gross, which was just enough for the Blur in the near lane to beat the Blur in the far lane. I talked to Gross. He was disappointed. Well, Tim, I have the unfortunate duty of telling you you didn't win that one. It was that close. But you know, your parachute came out a little bit early. That might have cost you.
The thing acted like it stopped accelerating and all that, and I'm assuming it must have just fallen out. Because I was nowhere near the lever and all that, and when it nosed over, then I obviously lifted right away too, because I thought I started hurting the motor.
It does happen. These parachutes sometimes just shake out. The violence of the funny car.
A tough break for Tim, but a great break for Tom Hoover, who just got into this race by a wink, and he'll go against Casey Spurlock, who, as Steve said earlier, Big Daddy has been running real strong lately.
But he is running an untested engine. And, you know, this team is not quite as experienced as some of these other teams out there. They're only 1 year in this business, and this is the time when experience really counts for a lot.
And it wasn't just a simple matter of plugging in an entire new engine. They really had to build a motor in the minimum amount of time between rounds. Oh, a great launch off the mark by Hoover. Couple that with problems for Spurlock and put Hoover in the final four and a few extra bucks in that racing account, which they desperately need. A 561 at 224 miles an hour. Spurlock pops out of the emergency hatch. He's just fine. It's the quickest way out of the car after mechanical problems. Let's go to Don with George Hoover.
Well, it looks like you're right in the hunt there. 561, not all that bad.
Not good. I can't see that far. I'm getting so old I can't even see the car.
That was a good run, George.
Yeah, thanks.
Don't kid yourself. That man is a whole encyclopedia knowing things about nitro funny cars. And he has put his son, Tom Hoover, into the final four against Jim White. Jim White will have lane choice in that pairing. The other pair, Ed McCullough versus John Force. Ed McCullough will enjoy lane choice. We'll be back with more from Denver.